One of the best writers I know and thinkers I know on all of these matters joins me right now. Wall Street Journal editorial board member Dan Henninger. Dan, I'm going to go kind of ping pong here all over the map, but you've indulged me in the past. One is the president. He will no doubt refer to the trade situation. I'm sure he'll make some comments on the immigration stuff as well. But on the fact he's overstepping himself and the markets are nervous, he's been urging calm. We'll get through this. Peter Navarro, much the same. What do you think?
Well, I mean, if there's calm, if we're going to get through this, Trump has unbounded self-confidence. He thinks it's going to work out. Let's just kind of focus on what he's just done, which is to threaten China with $200 billion of tariffs, and then say if they try to fool around with this, he's going to impose another $200 billion.
That's right. He got mad because they responded with $50 billion in kind, and then he upped the ante. He said, now I'm going to throw $200 billion on top of that. You try to do that, it's another $200 billion. That's the start of the war.
This isn't Las Vegas. We're not just sitting across a table putting cards down on the table. This is the Chinese government. And the logic here is that China has to blink, right? They have to surrender and say, basically, we give up.
You think that's how it ends?
I don't think that's how it ends.
Simple.
No, I don't think it's that neat and simple at all. And the Chinese are very sophisticated about playing politics like this. The Wall Street Journal just reported over the weekend that the Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, in light of the relationship he now has, the poor trading relationship he has with the United States, is talking about a rapprochement with China. That's extraordinary. They're talking about burying the hatchet, building up their trade relationship. If these sorts of things start happening around Asia, where they feel they have to pull back from the United States, do deals with China, the Chinese are going to be so eager to try to accommodate Trump on trade.
Could I answer as the president would? Let him try. You know, guys, let him try, because I'm going to counter everything they do. They need us a lot more than we need them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
He's got to hope it goes well for him. I mean, Trump's approval rating in the Gallup poll, which is a very kind of neutral poll, right, just hit 45%. It's very strong now.
And the trend has been his friend.
And the trend has been going well. I mean, it's up to about 89% approval among Republicans. Republicans are energized. They're going to be willing to turn out in the midterm elections. But if this goes south on him, that could really create some heavy water. And add the immigration fight as well. We can't ignore that. The separation of the families. Trump really has a lot of big balls in the air right now.
You know, one of the things that's also come up is this idea that it always works out. When markets go into a free fall, as was the case, they always come back. So we get scared by this. And I know the White House position has always been that everyone's going to act like their hair's on fire. The cooler heads will prevail. The buyers will be back. And all of this goes away. And that has been kind of the way things have been going here. But we're coming to a head now on a lot of this.
Well, just as a matter of pure bloodless economics here, Neil, the economy that Trump has produced as a result of the deregulation in the first year, 40% cut in the corporate tax rate, is extraordinary.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's been...
And I would maybe argue the regulation thing really kicked it off.
It might have... Yeah, exactly.
But bottom line, those two events, whatever you think of the president, gave him the foundation that could absorb all of these body blows since.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the job creation, the strength of capital investment. I mean, what we saw was just how strong the American economy fundamentally was. It had been sitting there kind of treading water for 8 years under Barack Obama. Trump released it, and we're getting this extraordinarily strong effect from the economy. The question is, how much of that can be offset by a trade war with China? A quarter percentage point in GDP, maybe upwards of a half point of GDP. At some point, it could start to have a negative impact. People losing their jobs, showing up at town hall meetings with their congressman.
Every Trump person I talk to says, crepe hanger, crepe hanger, crepe hanger. All these, you know, doom and gloomers. I'm not saying you're that way. I'm just saying that they've been wrong, 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 and we've been rising, 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 our poll numbers included, through all the doubting and through all the doubters.
At the margin, there are going to be job losses among steel manufacturers, aluminum, people who use aluminum, and end product manufacturers. They are probably going to have their prices go up if there's a tariff imposed on those products, and they're going to start laying people off. The question is, will it be enough to have any kind of political or economic effect?
Economic recovery we've been seeing offset any of that prior? In other words, it'll take a lot for those tariffs to reverse what's been going on.
The Trump economy has been such a good news story. The extraordinary job creation, the fact that there are more jobs than there are unemployed people now. And to sort of get in the middle of that and start creating a narrative where people are saying, yeah, but the trade stuff is beginning to push it in the other direction, just strikes me as a kind of momentum that the president doesn't need right now. But they're insistent on having it out with China. And, you know, we got to be hopeful, but it looks like the market is extremely nervous about the direction it's going in.
For today, let me ask you, though, Dan, very, very quickly. We'll take a break here before we go to the president. But this notion that he has been sort of having the wind at his back, things picking up, can absorb any potential body blows. Republicans are looking good. Don't worry about the immigration fallout. This will be short-lived. Don't worry about the effect on the Chinese, Canadians, and all their economies are starting to sputter. Ours is gaining strength. We win, we win, we win, we win.
Well, they have to hope that it's short-lived. I mean, it's now June. We're getting close to October. If you have some of these negative stories, like the immigration story at the border, the child family separations, this is going to have an impact on suburban districts where some of these Republicans are getting nervous about the reaction of their suburban voters. If you have a trade war increasing as you get towards October, the effect on those marginal House seats could be significant. Trump really, really wants to hold on to the House of Representatives, or he's going to be facing trouble next year.
Thank you very, very much, my friend.